Hello guys, it's good to have you back. In this video, I'll be explaining to you two concepts. I'll explain to you what we mean by arrays, and I'll explain to you different loops. We have for loops and while loop, but in this video I will only be explaining for loops to you so that you get the concept, because the main purpose of this series is to be able to make you use AI to generate code because of the kind of age and era we are now. The only thing you need to know and to learn right now is just the basics. Once you understand the basics, you can combine it with AI. So with that, you don't need to learn anything too deep. So in the last video, I explained two things, different things. I explained the logical operations and one other concept, but I made a mistake, which I sincerely apologize for. I classified all this under logical operations, but it shouldn't be so. The logical operations that we have is or and. This two vertical lines here means or, and these two and sign means hand. So greater than, less than, greater than, equals to, less than, equals to, equals to, equals to, or not equals to, they are all classified under relational operations, not logical. These two are for logical operations. Then all this symbol right here are relational operations. So I apologized for that. Now, in this video, we'll be discussing two concepts. The first one is for loop, and the second one is arrays. So I'm going to explain that in this video. Am I correct with these array spellings? But just take it anyways. We don't need the spelling. So I will first explain the concept of for loop for you guys. So the concept of for loop is more like to loop through something and get the answer for you. For example, if you go to a website like let's say any website at all, and you want to search for something, if you input what you want to search for, then that means that the computer is going to loop through all the markets and find all the materials you are looking for. For example, let me go to MQL5 market and explain this better for you guys. This is MQL5 market, right? Let's say I want to buy a product and I want to search for a product. You are going to come here. Let's say I want to look for the moving average EA, my moving average EA. If you search for that, it's going to loop through. Once it loops through the market, it will find what matches this name. So that's the benefit of loop in programming. It helps you check whatever you want, then brings it out for you. So instead of you to be checking one by one, it's not going to do that for it's going to do that for you automatically. So for example, let's say I want to loop through number one. Let's say I want to print 10 digits. Let's say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. I can't just go ahead and say print 1, right? This will take a lot of time. Sorry, this should be print. I thought I'm using C++. Print 1, I can't do that. It's not possible. If I say print 1, it's possible, but I can't say print 2, print 3, blah 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 till 10. It doesn't make sense, right? But if you want to loop through, if you want the computer to do everything for you at once without you needing to type 1 2 3, it's very easy. I will explain the syntax to you. What I mean by syntax is like the signs or the way. The MQL5 syntax now is that at the end of every line of code, it must end with a semicolon. That's a syntax. So there is a syntax for loop, that there is a way that you must type it so that the computer will recognize what you want to do. So you don't need to understand me fully, just vibe with the concept at the point you start getting it. To use the for loop, you need to type the keyword FOR, then open parentheses, this circular bracket. Once you open the bracket, you declare an integer variable. Always do that. Int, let me name it high, equals, let me just say equals 0. You declare an integer variable, then I let's say I is less than equals to 10. Don't worry, I will explain it to you. Then end this with a semicolon, I plus plus. Okay, then come down, open a curly bracket. So basically what this line of code is saying is that you want to do something, right? You want the counting of that thing to start from 0, right? And you want the counting of that thing to stop at exactly 10. If you say less than equals to, it means 10 is the highest. But if you say less than, it means 9, which means it is not up to 10. But if you say less than equals to, it means the highest is 10. So now you declare an integer variable that you want this counting to start from 0, right? And you want it to end in 10 when it gets to 10, right? And 10 plus plus. So the syntax is that when you first declare this variable, like, right, where you want it to start from, you must end it with a semicolon. Next, where do you want the count to start from? You want the count to start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's less than equals to 10. Then you have to also end it with a semicolon. Then this I plus plus means anytime it is counting, let's say it counts 0 now. After counting 0, you want it to increase by 1. It should keep increasing by 1, by 1, by 1 until it gets to 10. So this is like what we call the counter. Let me explain again. Declare a variable where you want it to start should be, let me say, if I want the counter to start from 1, this will be 1. If I want the counter to start from 2, this will be 2. But I want the start to start from 0, right? Now I can just come here and say print print high. You know, I is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I go to the MetaTrader 5 and I run the script, it's going to print, can you see that? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So instead of me to be printing it one by one, it's just automatically printed for me with just few lines of code. Now if you want the counting to start from, if you want the counting to start from 4, you change this to 4, compile, you see what I'm saying? If you run the code, you start 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So basically that is how it works. But if I say if it is less than 10, I won't put this equals to, which means it will stop when it gets to 9, right? Let me clear this. I don't want you to mix it up together. Clear. Let me run the code. You see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And if I want it to stop when it gets to the counting to stop when it gets to 5, I'll change this to 5. Compile. Go back to MetaTrader. Let me clear this again. Clear. Run it. Can you see 4? Because the counting starts from 4 and it must be less than 5, which means we only have one number, which is 4. So that's basically what for loop does. The concept of for loop is works together with arrays. So I just want to explain this basic concept for you first. Don't worry, as the series progresses you will understand it better. Now when we are talking about array means like a collection of data types. For example, let's say I have different numbers. I have 10, 11, 12, 13, 100, 150. We all know that these numbers that I just counted now, they are all integer data types. Like if you want to store the close price of the last 10 candlesticks, you know, you have to store them in one place. That is what we call array. For example, let's say I have 5 numbers that I want to store. I'm going to declare, and all the data types must be the same thing. Let's say I have like 5 integer data types numbers that I want to store. I'm going to declare the data type by specifying the data. I'm going to declare the variable by first specifying the data type, then give it a name. Let me just say price, right? Price equals, then you put this square bracket that you are seeing here. I've forgotten the name that we usually call this square bracket. Then after that, you put how many data type do you want to store, because we have 2 types of arrays. We have dynamic and static, but just vibe on with me please. Now, how many data do you want to store in this? Let's say I want to store 5 data. You put it here inside this bracket, right? Then equals to, then you open curly brackets, then you type all the numbers. You know, we said this means this is the size of the array, which means the number of elements that we are storing in the array. Let's say I have 2, I have 4, I have 7, I have 8, and I have 9. What are these? We have 5 datas, right? And they are all integer datas because they don't have decimal points. Let me compile this and see. Now, if you want to store 6 datas in it, you have to use 6, then make sure you add 1. Let's say 45, right? This one means you have 6 elements in this array. So this is what we call static array because you specified the data type. But if you don't want to specify the data type, that will make it a dynamic array, which means it should be something like this: int price. Then you won't put anything in the curly bracket, then just let me just put price 2. If you do that, it means this is a dynamic array, then this is a static array. If it's a static array, you automatically just add the values to it yourself. If it is a dynamic array, it means it won't have a size. You won't specify the size. Now, when we are talking about array, we are also talking about the indexing. You know, we said this is the number of elements that we are storing in this array. We are storing 2, 4, 7, 8, 9, 45. These are 6 elements. This first number here, this 2, is what we refer to as index 0. In programming, most of the counting always starts from 0. You can see that when I was talking about for loop, the counting also started from 0 when I started the counting from 0 to 10. Now you can see here the first element of the array is referred to as index 0, right? The second element of the array is referred to as index 1. The third element of the array is referred to as index 2. The fourth element of the array is referred to as index 3. The fifth element of the array is referred to as index 4. And the sixth element of the array is referred to as index 5. You see that? So now we have 6 elements, but the counting always starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then if we have 7, let's say we have 7 elements, which means we have to add 1 to this. Let me just add this to 60. It means the 7th one will be index 6. Why? Because we started the counting from 0, right? Now let's say I want to, let me just comment this. So if you add this to slash, it means whatever you write in front of it will not affect the code. That is what we refer to as comment. I will explain that to you later, but let's just face the array. Now let's say I want to print out 2. I want to print out the first element of this array. What will I do? I will come into this function, this event handler rather. I'll print out. What do you want to print out? Then you can see we want to print out price, right? Now in price, what do you want to print out? You want to print out index. Let me print out index. Let me print out index 0, which is 2, the first element, right? I'll just put index 0. Compile. If I go to the MetaTrader 5 and I run, you can see that it's printing out 2 for us. Now if I want to print out index 6, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see what we print out for us. Index 6. Compile. Go to MetaTrader. Let me run it. Can you see it's printing out 60 because 60 is in index 6. Index 6, 0. Let me count again. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That means if you want to refer to any of them, you use it as index. Now when we are talking, let's say you want to print out all this together, you know I explained earlier that you can loop through something with for loop. If you want to do something at once, instead of saying you want to print index 1, index 2, index 2, 3, 4. This, if you compile it, it's going to work, right? It's going to work, but the problem is that it's going to take you a lot of time. So if you want to do this as once, this is what you will do. Let me cancel this. You declare a for, you use for loop, right? You use for loop, then open a parenthesis, which is this round bracket, then you declare a variable int I. Where do you want the printing to start from? You want the printing to start from index what? Index 0. You do what? You specify that index 0. index 0, right? End it with a semicolon, right? What's the next thing you have to do? Where do you want it to stop? You want it to stop at index what? Index 6. You can now say I is less than equals to index 6. End it with a semicolon. After that, use one I plus plus, which means each time it is looping, once it is done with the first one plus one, that means once it's done with the first index, which is 0, should plus 1 move to 1. You know that this plus plus means increasing it by 1. 1 0 1, add 1 again 2, add 1 again 3, add 1 again 4 5 6. That's the way it works. Now let us open a curly bracket. What do we need to do? You need to just print out, right? Print price. What do you want to print out? I, which means, you know, it's a loop. Once it loop through the first one, it prints out the first index 0 1. Once it is done printing the first the element in the first index, it will increase by 1, then it will move from 0 to 1, print out this. So for each loop, it will be representing the number, this I, as the current index that is about to print. Now let me compile and go to MetaTrader 5 and let's see what the printing out will be. Let me clear our experts terminal. Now run the script. Can you see automatically it's printed 2 5, it should be 2 4 7 8 9 45 60. So basically that is the way it works. A loop, we help you loop through everything instead of you typing 1 0 1 to index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3. Once you type I, the loop we keep changing it for you. So that's basically how it works. And you must note that all the elements in an array must be the same data type. It's not possible for you to, you know, maybe you have like all this, we said the array is like integer data type. You can't just go ahead and add double. It doesn't work that way. Can you see? You are getting an error saying int 60.25, which means it is not possible. It should be an integer data, and it's suggesting that you change it to 50. That's why you are getting that error. Another thing I want to explain to you guys is what we call array out of range. You can see that this is a static array, and we've specified it that the total elements in this array is 7, starting from index 0 1 2 3 4 5 6, which means we have 7 elements in this. If the counting in this for loop starts from 0, right, and it ends in index 6. And if we now want to have access to more elements, we now use 10. If you compile it, normally the array stopped at index 6, and we are saying here that it should print till it gets to 10. That is not possible because we don't have that. If I try to run the code, you see that we're getting array out of range error. Can you see when it was done printing from index 0 to index 6, then it couldn't find any more elements? It's now saying array out of range, that it couldn't find any element again, and this can be very disastrous in your code if you are working with a large program. So basically this is just like the basic concept of arrays and for loop. We also have another one we call while loop, but I don't want to go too deep. This is age of AI. All you just need to understand is the basics. Once you understand the basics, you can try to implement it, find AI, find the way to balance it. All right guys, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel so that next time I drop a video you will be notified. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. Bye.